Theresa May is considering giving the European Court of Justice a role in Britain once it has left the EU. The Prime Minister has held talks about a potential referral system to the ECJ for European citizens who remain in the UK. Judges in the UK would refer cases to Luxembourg should queries crop up that have not been addressed during Britain's membership of the EU. Theresa May discussed the idea at a meeting of her inner Brexit cabinet on Monday, The Sun reported. Scroll down for video. Theresa May has held talks about a potential referral system to the European Court of Justice for EU citizens who choose to remain in the UK after Brexit. The Prime Minister is pictured with European Council President Donald Tusk during a bilateral meeting in Brussels yesterday. Judges in the UK would refer cases to Luxembourg should queries crop up that have not already been addressed during Britain's membership of the EU. Theresa May was in Brussels yesterday for talks with EU leaders. One senior government source said the solution would be a good compromise and could represent a significant breakthrough in Brexit negotiations. They added that such a move would be acceptable to Brexit supporters because referrals would still be a UK court decision and numbers would be very small. Theresa May previously insisted that the ECJ have no jurisdiction in British affairs, making it a red line during her Lancaster House speech earlier this year. Theresa May previously insisted that the ECJ have no jurisdiction in British affairs, making it a red line during her Lancaster House speech earlier this year. Immigration Minister Brandon Lewis told MPs on the Home Affairs Select Committee that the issue was part of the negotiations and this has not concluded yet. But the EU has been uncompromising in the ECJ, maintaining oversight over 3 million EU citizens living in Britain after Brexit. It comes after Immigration Minister Brandon Lewis sparked speculation that Britain could acquiesce on Tuesday after refusing to rule out a potential role for the ECJ. He told MPs on the Home Affairs Select Committee that the issue was part of the negotiations and this has not concluded yet. In her Florence speech on November the 22nd, the Prime Minister said, "Where there is uncertainty around underlying EU law, I want the UK courts to be able to take into account the judgments of the European Court of Justice with a view to ensuring consistent interpretation." After weeks of stalemate, the President of the European Council yesterday hinted at a breakthrough following talks with Theresa May. European Union leaders and their partners from the East met for an Eastern Partnership summit in Brussels yesterday. Donald Tusk suggested it was possible talks on trade could begin at a crunch summit of EU leaders in Brussels next month. But he warned of a huge challenge ahead, and set the Prime Minister a new deadline of 10 days for progress on all issues before trade negotiations start. It comes after Mrs May secured agreement from her cabinet this week to increase the government's offer on the Brexit divorce bill. The EU had insisted talks on trade could not begin until its leaders were satisfied sufficient progress had been made on this issue, as well as on citizens' rights and the Northern Irish border.